This is PrepZone Gametime, presented by Bevill State Community College. I'm James Phillips, and joined as always by Johnathan Bentley. Johnathan, our game of the week this week is a rivalry and a region game. Oakman traveling to Carbon Hill. Should be a really good contest.
You know, would you call this Carbon Hill's biggest rival at this point? See, Oakman lost theirs. When Parrish closed, they kind of lost theirs.
Right.
And now,
I guess
it's kind of morphed into this the last few years.
I would say that Oakman's is either Cordova or Carbon Hill. And Carbon Hills is probably either
it's always Curry.
Curry or Oakman.
Yeah. Well, this will be a better game.
Yeah, I think so, definitely. Oakman has really turned it around the last several weeks. And once they played J.B. Pennington, it seemed like they made some shifts and some things move around. And Coach Hall has done a good job of getting them in the right place, and they've played really well the last few weeks.
Yeah, I would agree because, I mean, I was at that Winfield game. It was an absolute disaster.
Right.
Nothing went right. And, I mean, they really turned it around. Now they have a path to host a playoff game.
Right. I mean, they kind of control their own destiny.
Just take care of this one, I think, Tarrant, and one other game, and you should be fine. I think Belmont.
Not to say anything about Carbon Hill, but their other games are the lower teams in the region. So they really should be able to, if they can pull out this win, should be able to go on through the region play with no more losses.
Tarrant's one of the worst teams in the state.
Right.
They really are this year, and that's crazy, but they're that bad. So Oakman's in a great spot, which they haven't been in usually. Usually they needed something to happen,
right? And
it never did, you know? Or they'd lose a game they had no business losing.
And then they ended up traveling in the playoffs, 300 miles away or something.
To Fife. It hasn't lost it. They have the longest winning streak in the nation now, Fife does.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Saw that the other day.
Let's hope nobody runs into them in the first round.
No Fife, no.
We were able to sit down and talk to Coach Hall, and he was very, very positive about the way his team's playing, but he didn't want to talk about this as a rivalry as much as it being a region game.
Right.
And that was his focus at practice this week. We're here with head coach Ryan Hall from Oakman. Coach Hall, just want to talk to you about this rivalry, and it's a region game. So how important is the fact that it's both?
Well, the most important fact is that it's a region game. I think, you want, it doesn't always work this way, but you want them all to be rivalry games at a region game. You want them all to take that kind of mentality and approach. But, proximity of the schools, and these kids play against each other growing up, and a lot of them, got family members that, that maybe they got a cousin that went to school, and it's, there's a lot of connection there. It's interconnected a lot of ways, just like all these schools. That, we all kind of have different connections, but I think the big thing is you just got to keep. It's a region football game, and there's a job to be done, and that's kind of what we talked about all week. It's the mission. The mission is to go over and win the game. That's it. Like there's no other. Keep the main thing the main thing, and it doesn't matter if it's homecoming. I don't know what it is over there. If it's not, we just want to stay focused on doing our job and executing at a high level.
Well, talk about your team the last few weeks. Y'all really seem to put things in the right direction and been putting up points and getting good, strong victories too.
Yeah, I felt like we had a stretch there. Winfield, Susan Moore, Pennington, that would be tough. And, obviously you always want to go 3-0, there's no doubt. But, if you come out of that ahead and not behind, 2-1 or 3-0, I felt like we're in good shape, especially with playing Susan Moore on the road. But we've definitely played better in spurts, and defensively we've played really well the last 2 weeks. I've been really proud of the effort they played with, and offensively we've put enough together to be able to win the game. So that's the whole deal. It's just game management and playing complementary football, and we've done a better job of that. I think our run game's improved a little bit. Caden has done a really good job of kind of giving us that factor where we're not throwing the ball 40 times a game. Now we get it down in the 20 to 25 range, and then him carrying a load too. So, I think that our offense is evolving as we go along.
When Caden really started carrying the ball more in that Pennington game,
he did. We kind of made some adjustments in formationally and some things that we wanted to do to try to involve him a little more. He had I think he's got 20-something catches on the year, so we were getting him the ball. It was just there were some times where we wanted guaranteed touches for him. We want him to touch it, and so that's been a big change in our offense. And he's done a good job with that. And then it's taken some of the pressure off Bubba to our quarterback and allowed him some plays where he can just give it to a guy and let him go make a play, and not have to read and make a decision. And so that's kind of been the evolution of it. What is the run game?
Talk about Carbon Hill and just what you expect out of this game as far as what you need to do, what you expect out of them, that sort of thing?
Well, I think the number one thing is, and I'll talk defense first. Defensively, we've got to control the back. I mean, I think he's a good, solid back. But one guy really doesn't. You can't say one guy's going to beat you, but he's a guy that we got to tackle. You got to make the first tackle on him and rally and get bodies around him, and then we've got to be disciplined on the back end because the quarterback's crafty enough to, the Tittle kid, he can kind of make some plays in the short passing game, and then they got number one, the Dejesus kid that's, in the last couple of games, he's played at a really high level. He's a little speed guy. So, they have some weapons, and the big thing is just stop the run. And that's kind of what I say all the time. If you stop the run, sort of like a pitcher throwing strikes in baseball. When a pitcher throws strikes in baseball, the game cleans up. And it's the same thing. If you stop the run, it really cleans up the game and kind of make the offense play left-handed. And then offensively, we got to make plays in one-on-one situations. We get our receivers out there, and they're in one-on-ones, and they got to make plays, and then we got to continue to be able to run the football. We got to win at the line of scrimmage and be physically, impose our physicality, and kind of make sure that all our assignments and do our job up front.
Well, how important would it be for your fans to travel with this being a rivalry game, a region game, and it's on the road? You guys need a big support.
Yeah, obviously, and we do. I mean, typically, I think Friday night at Susan Moore, we had a great following, and our fans, they're going to follow, and you just get over there, and they can affect the game in so many ways, and plus it makes our kids, it's just the comfort level with our kids, they want to play in front of a big crowd, and makes it a little more exciting, and so yeah, we want them to be there and be loud and have a great time, and hopefully, they'll have a big impact on the game.
Well, since it's two of our teams playing each other, I can't say go Wildcats this week, but good luck, and hope you guys play as well as you can.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out, man. Y'all do a phenomenal job, and like I always say, we just appreciate the work that you guys do for these kids.
Welcome back. Just got finished hearing from Coach Hall there. Now we're going to transition over to Carbon Hill. Their player, Cam Dejesus, was our player of the week this week, and you were able to sit down with him. Kid impress you a good bit?
Yeah, what's crazy is you usually have the usual suspects. It's the quarterback, it's the running back. It's weird to have a receiver. It's nice to, refreshing to have somebody from a different position, but he had 5 touchdowns total.
Right.
3 receiving, return to interception return, rushed for a touchdown to tie the game on the last play of the game with no time left. But unfortunately, they lost. But still, he had a great game. 5 touchdowns.
That was an awesome game by him. And like you said, it's not the type of player that we are used to talk to a lot of times. And to see him, I actually got to see him against Cordova earlier in the year, and I think that's before he really broke out and became a big part of the offense. He didn't get a lot of opportunities in that game, but man, he has played really well. And let's find out a little bit more about Cam Dejesus.
Okay, we're joined by Cam Dejesus, our player of the week this week. Thanks for joining us. Had a good game last week.
Thank you.
Well, take me through last week. 5 touchdowns. Have you ever had a game like that?
No, never like that. I mean, I just played really well.
What made the difference last week? Could you tell going in you were going to have a big game?
No, not really. I mean, they chose to throw the ball to me, and I did what I could of it.
Now, it seemed like this year y'all are scoring a ton of points. What's been the difference? What changed this season?
Coach is trusting to throw the ball, and we got Devin running the ball, so pretty good on the offensive side.
How's Clay been this season? Seemed like he's had a big year.
Yeah, Clay is pretty good, and he puts it where I want it, so it helps me to make big plays too.
Now, did y'all? They scored with 36 seconds left. Y'all drive down the field. Did you think that game was over when they scored?
No, I mean, sort of. Yeah. We did what we needed to do.
Was there a play that stands out for you out of those 5 touchdowns?
The pick 6, 95 yards, pick 6.
Take me through that play. What happened?
It's just I was where I needed to be once again, and the ball came to me.
Right to you?
Yeah, right to you.
Did anybody touch you on that play?
No.
Untouched, 95 yards. All right, so it's got to be kind of frustrating. It seems like y'all, the offense is doing its part, and y'all are falling a little bit short. But how much has this team improved this year?
A lot. Everybody's improved. I mean, starts in the weight room, of course. And leaders really stepping up like Devin and Clay, and got ninth graders stepping up like Blake Engel.
Yeah, Eagles had a great year. What has Coach Cochran brought this season to y'all?
Coach Cochran, he came in wanting to get it done, and we're trying to get it done, just falling short. But he's, big coach.
But you can tell y'all made an improvement, right? What's it going to take to beat Oakman this week?
If we play as good as we did and just pull through, I think we could beat Oakman this week.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Good luck this week.
Okay, still sticking with Carbon Hill, Johnathan. We've got Coach Mark Cochran. It's his first year at Carbon Hill, but we've seen a lot of improvement from game one till now. What do you think about Coach Cochran so far?
Yeah, it's one of those deals. Carbon Hill's not used to winning close games. I mean, that last 2 decades, right? And it's kind of like that. I mean, they've lost 2 games by a total of 3 points. You win those 2 games, they're 4-2. Can you imagine if both these teams are 4-2 going into this game?
Oh, I know, that would make it huge.
But instead, I mean, they're 2-4. They just can't catch a break in those close games. But I don't know. It's at home. It'll be entertaining. This team can score a lot of points.
Right.
They will score points. Now, I don't know how they won't hold anybody.
Right, yeah.
But
well, and it seems like their offense has changed a lot. We'll talk about that later in the show. But they seem to be putting up more points and more yardage for sure.
oh yeah, it's a complete change from last year.
Yeah.
Last year they had to kind of keep things low scoring.
Right.
It's a complete different shift with Cochran. He's done a great job, really.
With Cochran, it's really interesting to hear a first-year coach talking about a game this big in the region and also with it being a rivalry.
All right, we're joined by Carbon Hill coach Mark Cochran for our Game of the Week segment here. Coach, got Oakman this week. Would you say that's Carbon Hill's biggest rival?
It's a big rival. You know, Curry's always been a big rival too. Opened up the year with them. I remember back when I was here 20-something years ago that was a big rival. But Oakman was always a big rival too. And Coach Tittle just told me a while ago that there was a big, like, we played them in '95 and then we didn't play them again until like 2015 or something like that. So it was a big, yeah, and they were ranked when we played them up here. They had a really good football team. So they historically have good football teams at Oakman.
How do they look this season?
Very athletic, talented. You know, Coach Hall does a nice job with them. So it'll be a tremendous challenge for us to play against these guys.
It seemed like y'all have had some close calls, including last week. But what were some of the positives you took from last week's game?
Well, the kids don't quit. You know, that's part of the. You know, you hear about that from outside looking in. You know, when I first got here, that a lot of negatives about stuff like that. They didn't quit. They play. They realized last week, we was down 24 points, or a couple weeks ago, 24-0 in the third quarter, and we came back and won the game. And we was up in this game most of the game, and they came back and took the lead, and then right there at the end, we took the lead, or was trying to take the lead, and we fell on the 2-point conversion. But they don't quit. They play hard, and we don't always play good, but I think we play hard. I think the kids play hard for us.
Yeah, it seems like the offense has really been successful this season. Is it?
Yeah, we've evolved. I didn't really know, how far we would or how soon. We kind of started evolving earlier, and it's just learning the kids and them really buying in, and I think they feel confident. I think that's the big thing that they lacked, is confidence, and I think we got some confident kids now that's playing football for us.
Okay, talking about Oakman a little bit, what's it going to take to beat them?
Oh goodness, we'll have to do everything right, for sure. We'll have to block well, have to run hard, and we got to tackle. On third down, we got to get them off the field. Sometimes we have a problem with that, but they're a good football team, and they have multiple guys that can score and take it to the house at any time, against us, and we know that. So we have to, play very well to have a chance.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Good luck this week, Coach.
Thank you.
Your story starts at Bevill State Community College. Whether you are just starting out or starting over, Bevill State has an opportunity that is right for you. With 5 locations serving 7 counties. You don't have to go far to start your own success story. Plus, with tuition lower than 4-year colleges, you won't need to spend more for a great education. Visit us online at bscc.edu to learn about your options for seamless academic transfer and high-demand career tech and health science offerings. Let us help you tell your story.
Trey Thomas has been a key piece to the Oakman Wildcats for 4 years. As a senior, Thomas said he thinks his team can be good if they continue to work hard.
I think we got more work to do, the little smaller stuff like this. Smaller stuff can cost us a lot during the season, so if we fix them small stuff, we'll be good.
As a starting offensive and defensive lineman for Oakman, Thomas sees plenty of snaps on both sides of the ball. He does like one side better than the other.
Defensive line, I like to make tackle, like to hit.
Thomas said he loves to celebrate a big hit.
Yeah, always. I look at my guys, I'll flex, or I slime them out, you feel me?
Slime them out, I've never heard that.
I'm slime. Me and my boys, we slime over here, so it's slime.
Competing against Carbon Hill is extra special for Thomas and his teammates because it is a region game on top of being a county rivalry.
Yeah, all region games big. Yeah, but it's a big rivalry though. They're doing a lot of talking, so we want to pull up and perform.
Thomas is known as the clown prince of the team, keeping his teammates loose with his positive personality.
I don't know. I guess I keep everybody laughing. I like to mess with everybody and bring the energy to the team.
Funny voices and impressions are also a part of his comedy repertoire.
I be like, hey guys, we're going to come here today and we're going to get right. And I do stuff like that, and they'll be laughing.
Including impressions of the Oakman coaches.
Coach Hall, he be like, we come here, it's all about the small stuff. You got to come in here and bring the energy. No energy vampires.
Okay, we're back. You just heard from Trey Thomas from Oakman. What a cool kid. He was able to give us some funny voices and some impersonations of the Oakman coaching staff. He was a really good interview, and I was glad we got to sit down and talk to him. Then you had a chance to go to Carbon Hill, and usually Carbon Hill's over here, like the home team's here right. And the visiting team's here, but Carbon Hill just has a logo on one side of their helmet, and so we had to move it.
Yes.
And that's how it is. That's how they play this
It is blank on this side.
Right.
So that could be anybody.
Trust us, it's blank. We're not going to turn it around, but it's blank. That's why we have them mixed up. But you were able to talk to Tittle from Carbon Hill, and we mentioned their offense. Man, their offense is moving, and Tittle seems to be putting up a lot more yardage and some touchdowns in the passing game now.
Yeah, he's really limited mistakes this year. 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's pretty good for a high school kid, 6 games in.
Yeah.
Very efficient, like 70%. I mean, and he can run the ball. So, I mean, it makes the offense go, him and Devin Daniel, of course, right. And Dejesus.
Right.
Those two kids will be back. I mean, the coach actually said he's like having a coach on the field.
Yeah.
The senior, he's been starting for over, I think, 3 years now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know he started as a young kid. I remember seeing him against Dora a few years ago.
The hair is a giveaway.
Yeah,
the long hair.
Yeah. And man, to grow up the way he has, he's really played well. Let's find out a little more about Tittle now.
Offense has been a struggle for Carbon Hill for years and years and years. That's all changed this season. How successful is this year's Carbon Hill offense? Through 6 games, the team is just 34 points away from becoming the highest scoring Bulldog squad since 1999. The offensive success starts behind center with 3-year starting quarterback Tittle, whom head coach Mark Cochran said was like having a coach on the field. Carbon Hill is among the top scorers in Class 3A this season, averaging 33.7 points per game. They look to continue that success against rival Oakman at home tonight.
The reason we're having so much success on offense this year is because of the experience. I've been a 3-year starter at quarterback. Devin's been starting for 3 years. Cam, he's been playing a lot. The offensive line's got some more experience on it this year, so we've played a lot of football between us.
Carbon Hill has dropped a pair of narrow region games and enters tonight's contest with a 2-4 mark overall and a 1-3 region record. Oakman, on the other hand, currently holds down the number 2 spot in the region standings and needs a win over Carbon Hill to keep pace with frontrunner Winfield. Tittle is familiar with Oakman and its weapons on both sides of the ball.
The Odom brothers, I've known them since I was 6 years old. I played baseball with them growing up. Well, obviously, they have a lot of talent. We've been playing against them, not only in varsity, but we've been playing toy ball football against them, baseball, basketball. I've known them kids for a long time. I have a ton of respect for them. It's gonna be a hard-fought game against Oakman. We've played them. Like I said, it's my third time playing them. We're 0 for 3. We hadn't had much success against them at all. Like the last Carbon Hill team to beat Oakman, my dad was on it. That should tell you how long ago that was.
Carbon Hill is coming off a 43-42 road loss to J.B. Pennington. The Bulldogs scored on the final play of the game, but the potential game-winning two-point conversion fell short.
We took a lot of momentum from last week after putting 42 points up on J.B. Pennington. I felt like we fought all the way to the end. Even with 36 seconds left at the end of the game, we still put up a touchdown with no time left on the clock. So maybe we'll be able to carry some momentum into this week.
PrepZone Gametime is presented by Bevill State Community College and Kilgore Green Funeral Home.
Hey guys, welcome back in. James Phillips here as always. Johnathan Bentley still here. We got our special guest picker of the week. He is a mayor in the area, Mayor Parish, and also a wrestling, I don't know if I'll call him a superstar. We've had our differences, but he is the champion of New Era Wrestling, Mr. Bubba Cagle. Bubba, thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be here, James.
You'd probably rather sit by Johnathan than me, though, right?
Yeah. I did request that, but I don't get my way up here.
No, I thought for sure we could sit beside each other and stay fairly civil at least.
I don't mind making you look good. Something I usually do.
That's true. That's true. Let's start out right off the bat. Jasper playing at Jackson Olin. Jasper's 3-3. Jackson Olin's 5-1. Johnathan, tell us what you think.
Well, I saw the game got moved to Lawson Field
Right.
due to flooding issues in Birmingham.
Right.
And
It's weird that they've had flooding where people are getting like drug out of their cars and stuff.
Yeah, it was really
we
bad.
haven't had anything like that.
Yeah, I was surprised. I had totally not watched the news. I had no idea what was going on,
Yeah.
why they changed it. But it really shouldn't matter. Jackson Olin all the way in this one, especially after last week.
What'd you think, Bo?
Yeah, I had to go Jackson Olin.
I'm going the same. I think Jackson Olin's just going to have way too many horses. Like Johnathan said, really similar to last week with Minor, but Minor came in 0-5 and Jackson Olin's 5-1. So that tells you a little bit right there.
Second region. Yeah.
In that region to be 5-1, that's pretty strong.
That's pretty tough.
Let's go with Dora 4-2 at Asheville 3-3. I think the Bulldogs have turned things around. They won this game last year. It wasn't a wide margin, but I think Dora takes this one. What about you, Bubba?
I'm going to go with Dora, too. Big fan of Chavis Williams. I just think a lot of him, just how he does things. And you see it starting to progress through the season. They seem to be getting better and better.
Yeah, I think so. Johnathan?
Yeah, I went Dora. I think they finally turned the page. He started playing some of the linemen both ways.
Right.
And he didn't want to do that, but he's kind of had to, and maybe that makes a difference.
Yeah, he's put some of those bigger guys on the offensive line, which I can't do anything but help. And then they've started getting people the ball in the right spots, it seems like. He said that was one thing, that they'd get people the ball, but they weren't getting it in space. So now they're getting it in space and using those athletes that they've got. How about Moody 4-2 at corner? I think Moody's going to be all over the Yellow Jackets in this one. Bubba?
Yeah, I don't know much about that one, but I'm gonna go corner.
Well, look at you being nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go corner.
Corner reminds me of Winston County last year, where they had the one running back.
Right.
He already has 1,000 yards, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, they're pretty one-dimensional at this point.
They really needed that last week's win. Lincoln lost on the last play of the game,
Yeah.
and Moody's better than Lincoln. So,
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Here's one I think is going to be really close. Addison 4-3 at Lamar County 4-2. I think I'm going Lamar County. They really put it on Winston County earlier in the year, and I think at this point Addison and Winston County are basically even. So I'm going Lamar County in this one. Johnathan?
Winston County and Addison are even?
Well,
They beat them this year.
they beat them.
They are county champs,
Yeah.
right?
It's hard to say that, but yeah.
It's true, yeah. I mean, they've won every game against the county. But I actually went Addison. I'm hoping maybe last week they started turning things around.
Right.
They struggled early against Cold Springs.
Yeah.
So this is not the early season Addison, but maybe they're getting it back together. I hope.
This is not the team that I saw beat Aliceville by any stretch.
No.
All right, Bubba, what
Yeah, I'm
about you?
going to have to go Addison, too. It's just hard to bet against Addison just over the years, seeing them. And
They're fundamental. I mean, they're good. How about this is the team that we've caught on fire with is Meek, 4-2 at Lynn, 1-5. Meek's going to destroy Lynn at this point, right?
They should. I mean, they beat Marion County last week. I did not see it coming. I mean, they hammered them.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
They can run the ball. Meek is just really good this year. And, I mean, it is a rivalry game. And Lynn is not as bad as they just
They've
had
played
no luck
close
this year.
in some games.
Yeah. So it might be close, but I'm taking Meek.
I think I like Meek, too. I've been real surprised by that. Even just seeing their junior high and JV, they're doing a good job up there. They've got things going real quick.
They got a young coach that's real energetic. You know, I think he's brought just a new attitude up there. We did have Curry going to Northside, but those two teams had to forfeit, or Curry had to forfeit due to some COVID issues. So Northside gets the forfeit win. I think that was probably going to be the case anyway if they played. So forfeit there.
Yeah, Northside's been I seen what they beat Gordo earlier in the season.
Yeah. Well, they're 5-1. I can't remember who it was that they had lost to. It was somebody. It was another really good team that beat Northside. But how about Summerton Christian? Talk about 5-1. Summerton Christian going to Appalachian, who's 0-5. The Eagles are flying high right now. I'm going with Summerton Christian for sure.
I think I'll go Summerton Christian as well. I've seen that they're in the rankings again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've made top 10 now. Yeah. I think you're copying me on picks mostly.
I've went against you multiple times.
You like to just go
even
against
went
me?
corner.
You did go corner,
Yeah.
I think Bubba's just got to the point where he's just going to go against me no matter what. Johnathan, what do you think in that one?
Yeah, that'll be ugly, probably. Another winless team they're going to throttle.
Yeah, I think so. How about here's one that it's an odd matchup. Carver 0-6 comes in to Cordova 2-4. If Cordova could have won that Winona game last week, I probably would have picked them in this one, but I think Carver's just going to be too much for them. Bubba, what you think?
That's another one. That's another tough region like Jasper's in, and I watched some of that game against Winona.
Yeah.
Thought they were going to pull it out. I heard they got some real bad calls.
They did get some pretty rough calls.
But much as I hate Cordova, I like an underdog. Let's go Cordova.
See, you're just going against me at this point.
I only pick Cordova for nothing.
I went Carver too. Did you said Carver?
Also? I said Carver. Yeah, I said Carver. All right, game of the week this week, and that's why we have you here, is because you've got, even though you're the mayor of Parrish, you got a kid on the Oakman football team because there's no Parrish High School. We talked about that before we got on the air. We don't need to get your thoughts on that at this point.
Get him going, right?
We do not.
Well, we've got Oakman traveling to Carbon Hill. It's a rivalry game and it's a region game, so that makes it even more special. Johnathan, you go first, then I'll go, and then we'll let Bubba be the last.
Okay, I mean, Carbon Hill is so much better this year. You can't tell. They're 2-4, regular Carbon Hill record, right? They're scoring points. They're just falling a little bit short, and I think it'll be much the same this week.
Yeah.
I think they'll score some points. Oakman has better, maybe just a lot of seniors. They're more experience, better experience, so I'm going to take Oakman, but probably within a touchdown or within 10 points, I would say.
I'm with you. I think it'll be close for a while. I'm also going to go with Oakman. I think the experience and plus just the sheer roster size is more than Carbon Hill at this point. But I think Oakman will win it by at least a couple touchdowns. I think it'll be close through the first half, and then in the second half, you'll see Oakman kind of show that they're the better team. All right, Bubba.
Yeah, I definitely got to go Oakman. Like you mentioned, I got a son there. Plays on the team. He's out for the year, but and then also I work there part of the day now. But I tell you what, I was keeping up with Carbon Hill last week, and I was really impressed after seeing Oakman and Pennington and seeing what they done. And I tell you what, I liked how they went for 2 to win that game.
Yeah.
They showed they got some guts up there. But I still I think the Wildcats, like you said, I agree with you this time, gonna pull away late.
I made sure you would agree with me this time. That's why. That's the only reason I went with Oakman.
Continue to, I think, they can be the best team in the county.
All right. Yeah. How about when we have a guest speaker on, we always like to let them get a chance to tell what's going on. So with all the irons you got in the fire, tell us a little bit about what's happening in Parrish, and then talk about New Era Wrestling a little bit too.
All right. So Parrish, 90-0 down that place. We got a lot going on, but we're actually going to be filming a little thing for Apple TV next week about the poop train.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a musical / documentary. I might need to get in on this.
We need to check that out.
But we got and we just partnered with the nonprofit to start the fridge program, so that's went great. I mean, it's
Right.
had to be, we're just providing the outlet and the space, but that's been great. Just trying to get some things, hoping on some grants on some roads, because they tearing me up about that.
Right.
But we're just trying to get a little bit done as we can, and got our finances better. Got a new police chief, some new police officers, so we're excited about that. New Era Wrestling, we're going to be back to Swan Gym next Saturday, October the 16th. I get the following Saturday. Contenders Cup Tag Team Tournament. Big deal we got going there. Just ask y'all to come out and support us for that. And we're just glad to be here. And
So you and your son are injured at the same time.
that's right. We're both therapy. Trying to collect as much accident insurance as I can.
Right.
He thinks he deserves part of it, but he ain't getting a dime.
Right. Right. And you hurt yourself in the ring a few months ago.
Yeah, so one of them impromptu matches you put me in,
That's right.
put me in a bind. I didn't have time to stretch. So
It's all for some reason everything that happens at the show is always my fault, and that comes from the wrestlers to the fans to my own wife. Everything's my fault at the show. I guess being the owner, I have to take responsibility for that.
I appreciate every penny you contributed to my surgery and my therapy.
Right.
Which is none.
Did Mike Jackson get a hold of you?
I said a couple small prayers for you. Just a couple.
I can handle Action Mike Jackson now.
Mike Jackson would put him through some real therapy.
That's right.
And then by the time it's over with, he's going to need some therapy up here from dealing with it. So, well, Bubba, thanks for joining us today. And everybody you need to come out to New Era Wrestling. If you haven't been to one of the shows, it's absolutely the best independent wrestling you can see. Our shows are more fun to go to than WWE. You get to be up close and personal with the wrestlers. They'll shake your hands, they'll take pictures with you and things like that. So definitely come out. It's the best $12 to $15 you can spend in Walker County for some fun on a Saturday night. I guarantee you that.
You better believe it.
And you never know. Every now and then I get kicked in the face like last week's or last month's show. That seems to happen. Usually I get beat up and I don't get to beat anybody up. So
Keep your nose out of my business.
I guess that's it. Well, guys, until next week, for Johnathan, for our guest Bubba, I'm James Phillips, and we'll see you next week.